Imagine you are a student athlete and you just stayed up all night studying for a test. During the test, you realize you cannot concentrate, and afterwards, you completely bomb it. After the test, you realize that you have to exercise and train, and once you start exercising and training, you realize that you feel super weak and you're super sore from the day before. This has been one of the worst days you've ever had. Maybe those 1 or 2 extra hours of sleep would have made a big difference. Hi, I'm Casey Radenheimer, and I'm just a normal student who has suffered from sleep deprivation like many others. So the central idea of this speech is that the effects of sleep deprivation negatively impact activities involving body performance and cognitive ability. So some of the symptoms of sleep deprivation, which is my visual aid, is that it causes fatigue, mood changes, difficulty concentrating, memory problems, paranoia, and hallucinations. So the main points that I will be discussing today will be physical performance, brain-based skills, and eating behaviors. So the first activity that is negatively impacted by sleep deprivation is physical abilities. The first subpoint is that sleep is optimal for muscle performance with exercise-induced training. So from the article, Effects of Sleep Deprivation on Acute Musculoskeletal Muscle Recovery After Exercise, total sleep deprivation after EEIMD, which is eccentric exercise-induced muscle damage, does not delay muscle strength recovery, but modifies inflammatory and hormonal responses. So the author of this article is Dattilo. So what this statement means is that your hormones need time to stabilize and need to be brought back in check with quality amounts of sleep, which is like 7 to 8 hours. The second subpoint is that sleep deprivation causes significant impairment while driving on the road. From the article Sensitivity and Validity of Psychometric Tests of Assessing Driving Impairment, on-the-road driving performance was significantly impaired after sleep deprivation as measured by the standard deviation of lateral position, which is SDLP, of 3.1 centimeters compared to performance after a normal night of sleep. 3.1 centimeters is a huge for impairment while sleeping while driving. And in my opinion, sleep deprivation while driving is just as dangerous as driving under the influence, such as alcohol or marijuana, or even worse. So the second activity that is affected by sleep deprivation is that poor performance of brain-based skills. So in the article, Effects of Sleep Deprivation on Executive Functioning, Cognitive Abilities, Metacognitive Confidence in Decision Making, Vigilance, Inhibitory control, and task switching, which are the least complex functions, are poorest after 24 hours of total sleep deprivation during circadian dips, which an example of a circadian dip is early in the morning, and continue to decline over cycles of restricted sleep. So the author of this article is Admin, and basically what vigilance is like attentiveness of your surroundings. So when you're sleepy, you can't really concentrate on the things around you as much. And based on this statement, it is a perfect example of why poor reaction times have led to increased vehicle accident rates of people under sleep deprivation, which can go back to even physical abilities as well as brain-based skills. So the second subpoint is that a lack of sleep causes fragmented memory loss. So in the article, Sleep Deprivation Leads to Fragmented Memory Loss in Experiment 92, there was a marginal increase in item forgetting was observed in the sleep deprivation condition 48 hours later. So, in my personal opinion, if you suffer from fragmented memory loss over time will damage the personal touch you have with others. So, once you have sleep deprivation, it's really hard to connect with others as well if you had a normal amount of sleep. The third activity that is impacted by sleep deprivation is your eating behaviors. So the development of obesity is prevalent among children and the youth who require reduced sleep. In the article, Is Sleep Deprivation a Contributor to Obesity in Children? By the author Chaput, Chaput, voluntary sleep restriction has shown to increase snacking, a number of meals eaten per day, and the preference of energy-dense foods, which is like high-caloric foods such as like cake or ice cream. This is huge, since if you just have a normal amount of sleep, you can drastically change your health and your body. The second subpoint, instead of just young males, food intake in healthy older males appears to increase who experience acute partial sleep deprivation. So, in the article, Acute Partial Sleep Deprivation, Increased Food Intake in Healthy Men, by the author Brendel, in this study, subjects consumed between 559 and 617 kilocalories more energy on the day after sleep restriction, and preprandial, which is preprandial means done or taken before dinner or lunch, was higher before breakfast and dinner. So basically, the subjects were compared with an 8-hour sleep session, which was the control group who had the 8 hours. So these impairments are critical in the effects of sleep deprivation. So next time you want to stay up all night, remember that sleep deprivation causes impaired physical abilities, poor performance of brain-based skills, and bad eating behaviors. In my personal opinion, I believe sleep deprivation needs more awareness since it is so common in the student body. Especially once classes get more rigorous and you have more athletes, I believe that sleep deprivation needs to be taken into account more often than not. I was happy to inform you guys of the effects of sleep deprivation. It is now in your hands to take this information and use it. Thank you.